The crowd gathered around the shining black Lamborghini as if it were a celebrity. The supercar sat under the bright afternoon sun in the center of a luxury automotive expo, surrounded by cameras, influencers, wealthy investors, and reporters eager to catch a glimpse of the vehicle that had become the pride of billionaire CEO Sienna Vale. Worth nearly $30 million after years of custom engineering and rare modifications, it was considered one of the most expensive Lamborghinis in the world. But among the flashing cameras and designer suits stood a man nobody noticed. His name was Rowan Mercer. A 38-year-old single father wearing faded work boots, a simple gray shirt stained with engine grease, and tired eyes that carried years of sacrifice. And within 24 hours, everything the crowd believed about success, wealth, and human worth would be turned upside down. Before we begin, if you believe kindness matters more than status, and that everyone deserves a second chance regardless of where they come from, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs inspiration today, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire for more emotional stories that remind us what truly matters. The summer afternoon was unusually hot. Rowan had brought his 11-year-old daughter, Aurora, to the expo because she loved cars. Ever since her mother passed away 5 years earlier after a sudden illness, Rowan had done everything possible to keep joy alive in her world. Life had not been easy. Medical bills had consumed their savings. Long nights at repair shops barely covered rent. Many mornings Rowan skipped breakfast so Aurora could have enough food for school. Yet despite the hardship, he never allowed bitterness to settle into his heart. Aurora was the reason he kept moving forward. As father and daughter walked through the exhibits, Aurora's eyes sparkled with excitement. She admired every vehicle they passed, stopping to read signs and ask questions. Rowan answered each one patiently. Cars were more than machines to him. They were stories. Every scratch, every sound, every vibration told him something. After nearly 2 decades as a mechanic, he had developed instincts that seemed almost supernatural. A slight hum could reveal a hidden defect. A faint smell could expose a future breakdown. Machines spoke a language few people understood. And that afternoon, one machine was screaming for help. As Rowan and Aurora approached the famous Lamborghini, he noticed something unusual. The engine had recently been started for demonstrations. Most spectators heard power. Rowan heard trouble. His expression changed. He moved closer. Aurora immediately recognized that look on her father's face. It was the same look he wore whenever a customer brought in a vehicle hiding a serious problem. Rowan listened carefully. The sound lasted only a few seconds. But it was enough. Deep within the engine, a subtle metallic vibration echoed at irregular intervals. Small. Easy to ignore. Dangerous. Very dangerous. He quietly studied the vehicle. The issue appeared connected to a custom cooling system modification integrated into the engine assembly. To the average observer, everything looked perfect. To Rowan, disaster was approaching. He considered walking away. After all, nobody had asked for his opinion. Yet his conscience wouldn't let him. The vehicle represented years of engineering and millions of dollars. Someone should know. As Sienna Vale finished an interview nearby, Rowan politely approached one of her staff members and attempted to explain what he had heard. The staff member barely looked at him. Moments later, the message reached Sienna herself. The billionaire CEO glanced toward Rowan. Her eyes moved from his worn boots to his grease-stained shirt. The judgment happened instantly. People around her exchanged amused smiles. Some quietly laughed. To them, Rowan wasn't an expert. He was simply another working-class mechanic standing too close to greatness. Sienna listened for less than 10 seconds before dismissing the warning. She trusted her elite engineers. She trusted her expensive technology. She trusted her reputation. What she didn't trust was a stranger who looked like he struggled to pay his bills. Rowan remained respectful. He explained that the sound was faint but real. He suggested a detailed inspection before driving the vehicle again. No arguments. No demands. Just concern. Then he said the words nobody remembered until the next day. Ignore it if you want. After that, Rowan took Aurora's hand and walked away. The crowd forgot him within minutes. Sienna forgot him even faster. The event continued successfully. Photos spread across social media. Articles praised the Lamborghini. Investors celebrated. Everything appeared perfect. But perfection has a way of hiding cracks. The next morning, Sienna prepared for a highly publicized demonstration drive. Hundreds of guests had gathered. Major business partners were watching. Media coverage was scheduled worldwide. The Lamborghini rolled onto a private test track under clear daylight skies. Cameras followed every movement. For several minutes, everything seemed normal. Then it happened. A strange vibration appeared. Small at first. Almost unnoticeable. Then another. And another. Engine temperatures began climbing unexpectedly. Warning systems activated. Engineers exchanged nervous glances. The vehicle lost power. Within moments, the world's most celebrated custom Lamborghini slowed dramatically before stopping completely. Silence covered the track. No one understood. The impossible had happened. Millions of dollars in engineering had failed in front of everyone. Emergency crews arrived. Technicians rushed forward. Reporters started recording. Investors looked concerned. Sienna stared at the motionless vehicle, unable to process what she was seeing. Hours passed. Then came the diagnosis. A hidden cooling system defect had created excessive stress within critical engine components. The issue matched Rowan's warning almost exactly. The room fell silent when the lead engineer delivered the report. For the first time in years, Sienna felt embarrassed. Not because the car failed. Because she remembered the mechanic she had ignored. The man she had judged before hearing him. The man who had been right. Finding Rowan should have been easy. It wasn't. He had no famous company. No social media following. No public relations team. Just a small repair shop on the edge of town. Meanwhile, life continued as normal for Rowan. He spent the day repairing family vehicles. Changing oil. Replacing brakes. Helping customers save money whenever possible. He never expected to hear from the billionaire again. Then a convoy of luxury vehicles appeared outside his shop. Customers stopped talking. Employees stared through windows. Aurora, doing homework in the office corner after school, looked up in surprise. Out stepped Sienna Vale. Without cameras. Without reporters. Without an audience. For perhaps the first time in years, she arrived not as a CEO but as someone seeking help. Rowan greeted her politely. No resentment. No arrogance. No satisfaction. Just professionalism. That alone unsettled Sienna. Many people would have enjoyed watching her struggle. Rowan did not. He simply asked how he could help. As they discussed the failed Lamborghini, Sienna gradually learned more about the man standing before her. She learned about Aurora. She learned about the years of sacrifice. She learned about the hospital bills. She learned about the countless nights Rowan worked until sunrise to keep food on the table. And she learned something even more surprising. Several engineers in her own company had unknowingly studied repair techniques originally developed by Rowan years earlier. His innovations had spread throughout the industry without anyone recognizing his name. While executives received awards and investors received profits, Rowan remained in the shadows. Not because he lacked talent. Because he lacked connections. For the first time, Sienna saw the difference between visibility and value. One could be famous and contribute little. Another could be invisible and change lives every day. Over the following weeks, Rowan assisted the engineering team. The defect was corrected. The Lamborghini was restored. But something far more important was changing. A friendship began forming between two people from completely different worlds. Sienna started visiting the repair shop regularly. Not because she needed repairs. Because she wanted perspective. She watched Rowan interact with customers. She watched him quietly help struggling families. She watched him repair vehicles for elderly residents at reduced prices. She watched him teach Aurora that integrity mattered more than wealth. And slowly, she began questioning her own life. For years she had measured success in numbers. Revenue. Investments. Market value. But Rowan measured success differently. In people helped. Promises kept. Lives improved. One rainy afternoon, Sienna discovered that Rowan's shop was months away from closure due to rising costs and old debt connected to his late wife's medical treatment. He had never mentioned it. Never complained. Never asked for help. He simply continued working. That night, Sienna sat alone in her office staring across the city skyline. The memory of Rowan's warning echoed in her mind. Not the words themselves. The kindness behind them. A man she had dismissed had still tried to protect her. A man with every reason to be bitter had chosen compassion instead. And she realized something. The greatest engine in the world wasn't inside a Lamborghini. It was inside the human heart. The next morning, Rowan arrived at work expecting another ordinary day. Instead, he found dozens of people gathered outside his shop. Local residents. Former customers. Business owners. Community leaders. And standing among them was Sienna. What happened next would change his life forever. Before we reach the ending, tell us in the comments, have you ever been judged because of your appearance, job, or financial situation? Your story may inspire someone else reading today. Sienna stepped forward and announced a partnership program that would transform Rowan's repair shop into a community automotive training center. Young people from struggling families would receive free technical education. Single parents would receive discounted services. Scholarships would be created in honor of Rowan's late wife. The crowd erupted with applause. Aurora began crying. Rowan stood speechless. Not because of the money. Not because of the recognition. But because someone had finally seen his worth. Years of invisible sacrifice had not gone unnoticed after all. As tears filled his eyes, Aurora wrapped her arms around him. For the first time since losing her mother, the future no longer felt uncertain. It felt bright. The Lamborghini's breakdown had cost millions. Yet that failure created something priceless. A reminder that wisdom can come from unexpected places. That kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. And that sometimes the people society overlooks are the very people capable of changing the world. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories to viewers around the world. And remember, never underestimate someone simply because their clothes are worn, their hands are dirty, or their life looks ordinary. Sometimes the person standing quietly in the crowd is carrying a strength, knowledge, and kindness more valuable than $30 million.